Okay, you guys gotta understand, I'm 21 years old, so we're like practically in the same generation. So when I say the words freaky FaceTime, I think most of us have done it, okay? There's no way we haven't. Like, you guys never get that girl that just calls you up and she wants to FaceTime? Like, she's definitely down to do something, right? Or is that just the girls I talk to? Anyways, what is going on, you guys? My name's Bubba, and welcome back to another insane story. So today's story takes place back when I was in high school. Now, I remember back in high school, one of the very common things that every guy would do is always try to get girl snaps. And I think that's still the same thing to this day. Like, I don't think people actually walk up to a girl anymore and say, yo, can I get your number? Like, that is such a meme, and I hate how a bunch of YouTube videos, they actually like do these like pranks where they're like, oh, like, yo, can I get your number? It's like a random chick on the street, when in reality, half of the time, kids in school would just be like, yo, you're kind of hot, like, can I get you like your snap maybe or something? That's what I would do all the time. And knowing this, honestly, Snapchat was like one of the greatest things ever made. By the way, follow me on Snapchat. We have over 100k followers on there. Going on from there, I remember basically in high school, there was one time where there was like a guy that was a friend of mine that was actually a really good homie. Me and him, we'd always like hang out and stuff, and it got to the point where like, you know, we got to know each other very, very well. Now, you gotta understand, in high school, I had like the main boys group, like the boys that like, you know, I still talk to this day. Shout out to you guys. You guys are awesome. But then there's like, you know, those extras that just come into your life and come and go. Like, they're just there just because they, you know, they appear for your life for like a season. They're like seasonal friends. Let's just put it that way. And basically, I remember me and him, we got really close and stuff, and it got to the point where he would always invite me over to his house. Now, one thing I will say is that his life was like always depressing in some way. Like, for example, he's always had something to complain about, and either it's about his family, the girl that he never gets to pull, or, you know, basically anything from sad as being upset about video game. Like, it gets to the point where he would complain about anything. And all my like actual friends, like the boys, would always tell me like, why are you friends with this guy? He's not even like worth your time. So in my mind, honestly, at this point, I was just basically pitying him and basically being his friend out of pity. Kind of sad, and don't ever do this to anyone. Seriously, there's no fixing them, there's no helping them. It's just sad, so don't do it. But basically, going on with the story, I remember one time he ended up telling me, yo, bro, like, you want to come over? Like, my stepmom's gonna be here, and like, to be honest, like, I don't really want to chill with her alone at my place, so like, do you want to like come over? And I remember I told him, why don't you want to be alone with your stepmom? He ended up saying, oh, because like, I don't really like her like that, and like, to be honest, like, she's like being weird around me all the time, and I don't know why. Like, she sounds like, I don't know, just desperate or something. And it seems weird because, you know, this is his stepmom. Like, literally, like, his dad actually did get married with this woman, so I don't know why anything like matters. But one thing led to another. I ended up telling him, yeah, sure, I'll come over. I got nothing to do anyway. And basically, I ended up going over to his house. So I want to say, like, after school that day, I ended up going over to his house. And when I did, everything was normal. You know, we ended up hanging out. We played video games. And the weird thing was that his stepmom was there, but she refused to talk to basically her stepson at all when I was there, which made sense because I guess it would have made things more awkward if I was there. I have no idea. But basically, I remember after like a bit when I need to go to the bathroom, I started heading towards the bathroom, and she literally walked in front of me and said, hey, excuse me, I have a question for you. I remember I looked at her and said, yeah, like, what's going on? And she ended up saying, oh, well, like, my stepson doesn't really like talking to me. And like, honestly, one thing I will say is that like, I really want to get to know my stepson, but like, he won't basically tell me anything. So like, would it be cool if like, maybe like I get your contact information and like, you just tell me like what I need to know? Honestly, long story short, she wanted me to spy on her stepson. Now, this is like the most dumbest thing that any mom could ask for, especially from a friend of like, you know, their son slash stepson in some way. But I remember basically telling her, I mean, you can have my number, but like, I'm not really gonna like actually like say much because like, I don't know, I don't really hang out with him like that much. She ended up giving me like the weird eye, and she's like, oh, like, so you guys are like not like really that close of friends? And at that point, just to avoid the conversation, I decided to make the call and say, oh, like, nah, we're not like that close. And I ended up walking away from her and actually going to the bathroom. But as I was going to the bathroom, she was following behind me, and I went into the bathroom, I took down my pants and closed the door, and she saw me like whip out my eggplant. And at that point, I don't know why, but basically she kept staring me down and being a weirdo. I'll tell you that much after, you know, I came out of the bathroom. And I remember after that day, when I head home that night, she ended up sending me a text saying, hey, like, thanks for hanging out with my stepson. You're such a cutie. Thanks. I thought this was like some sort of like mom humor or something, or a mom thing that some people do, but I didn't know she meant it literally. Anyways, going on with the story, the next day, I remember I ended up going to school and I saw the same guy that invited me over the day before. He walked up to me and said, yo, like, bro, I don't know what you told my stepmom, bro, but like, dude, she keeps like talking about you, and like my dad's like weirded out by it. I didn't know what to tell him, so I ended up telling him, oh, like, I don't know, man, she's weird like that. And I ended up just walking with him to our next class. Anyways, I remember later on throughout the school day, she ended up sending me a text saying, hey, like, how's my sweet boy? And I thought she was talking about, you know, her stepson that I was in class with at the time. So I ended up texting her saying, I don't know, he's just in class, I guess. And then she ended up asking me right after, oh, like, how are you doing? What? I'm good, thanks, is what I ended up texting her back. And it just got super awkward to the point where she said, hey, like, I'm just curious, like, are you down to like have a FaceTime call to like just talk about, you know, just everything that's going on at school with him? Now, at this point, I think it would be the right thing to probably block her, but me being in high school, I was a dumb kid. So I ended up just kind of saying, yeah, sure, like, we can have a FaceTime call. And I ended up, you know, basically FaceTiming her that exact same night. But it wasn't at a reasonable time. Like, I'm not joking when I say this. I literally FaceTimed her at like 3 in the morning. Because when I like tried to FaceTime her like any time before that, apparently she was busy or she was doing something or she just couldn't call until 3 a.m. when she texted me saying, yo, like, you can FaceTime me now. And I ended up FaceTiming her at 3 a.m. And when I got an answer on the phone, she was in some like kind of like sketchy room that like I didn't even recognize in the house. And she just sat down on this chair and started talking to me. She's like, oh, like, so how are you? And I'm like, I'm good. I'm in bed. And I was super tired. I had like this deep voice basically when I'm super tired. And she's like, oh, like, that's good. I'm just curious, like, in terms of like my stepson, like, is he like talking to any girls by any chance? Not that I know of, is what I said afterwards. And then right off the bat, she ended up telling me, oh, like, so like, are you talking to any girls? Now, I didn't want to tell like, you know, his stepmom about like my like, you know, devil's tango life. So I ended up saying, oh, like, nah, like, I don't really like talk to girls like that. So no joke, right off the bat, when I say that, she already starts showing cleavage on the screen of FaceTime. And she's like, do you want to have like an experience? Wait, what is what I said? And right then and there, I am not joking, she ended up popping her cherries on FaceTime. No joke. She just whips them out like they're 2 cannons. And she's like, yeah, like, they're really big, aren't they? And I just look at them and I won't lie to you. I'm not gonna lie, okay? I'm not a liar on this channel. I got bricked, okay? I got seriously bricked, okay? Like, no joke, brick emoji slap, dude. Like, it was just so crazy. And at that point, I'm not gonna lie. You know, she started asking how big it was. And, you know, she started like basically getting interested in stuff. And she started telling me how she like, you know, stared me down at my eggplant. And yeah, I won't lie to you, I ended up freaky FaceTiming with this man's mom. The next day, I remember I go to school and let's just say things got really, really bad. And it got to the point where, well, I don't know. Let's just say it could have gotten worse. But you know what? We're going to save that for another time. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a like and subscribe and follow for more embarrassing stories. All right. Peace out, guys.